Let's make it a good day.
Coming up today, Warner Brothers and Discovery are combining their entertainment. So how will that affect your favorite streaming sites? Then, ace reporter from Variety and our friend Elizabeth Wagmeister is back. She's going to join us with deets on her bombshell interview with Colton Underwood. And the deal guy is back. Matt Granite has the secret tips for getting the most bang for your buck at dollar stores. Here we go.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah.
Good morning, Plainview. Good morning, Butterfield. And good morning to good old Minneapolis, my home. And good morning to all of you. Welcome to the Jason Show. I'm Jason. Please say hello to my sidekick sister from another mister and Costco's Employee of the Month, Kendall Mark, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
I want to be the person that looks and makes sure you have a Costco card.
That's right.
You know?
Beware of Ricky Schroder. Anyway, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I was like off grid all weekend and it felt really good, and now it feels good to be back.
Back on the grid?
Yeah, back on the grid.
Well, I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're back on the grid. I would have missed you if you weren't here.
Thank you. I mean, who knows? I could have just gotten lost in the hills of Minnesota.
Okay. We're going to start with a little story about someone that's celebrating a fun anniversary, and that is my good friend Amelia Santaniello Vassalero. There she is, and there I am in 1997. That's the year in the WCCO newsroom with my other buddy, Don Shelby. I was 22 years old and just starting off in TV and was lucky enough to start off with those two people. And the reason we're talking about Amelia today is because today is the 25th anniversary of Amelia coming to the Twin Cities to work at WCCO TV. And I just wanted to take a few moments because, you know, usually to me it's antiquated. You're really not supposed to talk about anchors on other TV shows, but I don't give a rat's rear because when it comes to Amelia, I break all the rules. And you should know, all of the bosses here at Fox 9, we all worked at WCCO, and we're all good friends with Amelia. Here's what I want to say about Amelia Santaniello Vassalero. All jokes aside, for the next few minutes, she's simply just one of the best human beings, not just that I've worked with, but she's just one of the best human beings, period. I am an only child, and I tell folks that when I met her, we struck up an instant friendship, and having Amelia in my life means that I'm no longer an only child. It means that I have the most incredible sister friend you can ever imagine. She has been there for me when times have been very tough, and I've tried to be there for her when, you know, in the early days when she and Frank were dating. Frank was a goober, so I had to be there to bring her sticky rice and to comfort her when Frank was being a goober. Anyway, and I just want to tell a story really quick that if you've ever been in our audience, I used to tell this story when people would ask, who's your favorite anchor? And I would say, Amelia. But here's a story, and this is all you need to know about Amelia Santaniello Vassalero. When I was in my early 20s, I lost my papa, my grandma, and my dad, all within 2 months of each other. Papa Earl died, and then 2 months later, my grandma Betty died, and then 2 months later, my dad died. And I'm an only child. My mom and my dad had been divorced, and everything kind of fell on me as a guy in his, I think I was 25, and including funeral costs and stuff, and I was drowning. Plus, in my 20s, I didn't know what money management was. I mean, like a lot of you watching, the 20s wasn't the best time for financial planning. So I was a mess, and Amelia knew it. And I had come back from Indiana following my father's funeral, where I was looking down the barrel of, like $100,000. I was looking down the barrel of, it was basically a student loan. And Amelia and I used to have a tradition where she would call me on her way home after the 10 o'clock news, and we would gossip about things. And she called me one day, and she goes, hey, I want you to come downstairs. Because I lived right by, I lived downtown, I lived in Loring Park, and right by the station. She just come downstairs. And I went downstairs, and I go, okay. So I put on my little slippers, and I'm in my pajamas, basically. And I walked up to her car. And when I think of success, and she doesn't know this, when I think of success, I always thought of Amelia's car. Because Amelia was the first kind of fancy, rich person I ever knew. And Amelia's car was fancy, and it had beige interior. And that was my idea of success. So when I finally got a big boy car, I got beige interior because of Amelia. That was when I knew that I had achieved some level of stability. So I got in Amelia's car, and she looked at me, and she goes, how you doing? And I said, I'm fine. And she pulled a check out of her pocket, out of her purse, and it was a blank check. And she handed it to me, and she goes, I want you to fill this out for whatever you need. And I started crying. And I've never had anybody do that for me. I have never had anybody do something like that for me since. It was just an incredible act of generosity. And I said, Amelia, I can't do that. And I started crying, kind of like what I'm getting ready to do now. And she says, if you don't do it, Frank is going to beat your blank.
Do it.
And I just said, okay. And I stopped crying. And she was, I mean it, Jace. I need you to fill that out for whatever you need. And I cried, and I got out of the car. And that story tells you everything you need to know about Amelia, because I've worked for other people, rich people, that have made me pay for my own Frosty. And I go from that to Amelia. And I'm very blessed to call her a friend. The Twin Cities is blessed to have her here. She's a wonderful journalist. She's a wonderful wife to that goober Frank. She's an amazing mom, and thank God in heaven, she's my amazing sister friend. So to Amelia, happy 25 years, and I can't wait to spend another 25 years as your friend. I love you. Let's get started, everybody. It is time for the hot dish. Roll it, Leo. I did that without crying. I was very,
Yeah, I was getting a little chills.
She's the best. A major merger in the world of entertainment over the weekend, and it's going to affect some of your favorite streamers. It really could. AT&T is getting out of the TV business. The company announced it's going to sell Warner Media, which includes HBO, CNN, so they're selling Anderson Cooper. Wolf Blitzer, by the way, not part of the deal. They're spinning Wolf off. And TBS. And they're selling all those things to Discovery. And that means HBO Max and Discovery Plus will be owned by the same company. The deal is worth a very small $43 billion. By the way, that's what I signed Amelia's check for. $43 billion. That's what I wrote.
Billion.
It's going to be probably done next year unless, the government goes, no. So basically, all this matters to you is it's going to be interesting to see what happens between the two streaming companies. Personally, nothing against AT&T, but I think this is a great idea because I don't think big wigs that run phone companies should be running creative endeavors. And famously in the 80s, GE ran NBC almost into the ground. Westinghouse owned CBS. You shouldn't have non-creative people running creative endeavors and creative companies. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad AT&T had that, is thinking of that,
Right. What I'm super interested in, and we'll find out more as more comes along, is like, okay, so my Discovery Plus, everything that you just said is all going to go over to that. Can it still only be $7.99 a month?
I'm sure it will, and I'm sure it'll be two separate things. Because Discovery Plus is a great name. They're not going to get rid of that. And HBO is a valued property. So it'll probably still be separate. And AT&T can concentrate on their nationwide coverage. Next in the dish, SNL was new over the weekend with Keegan-Michael Key as the host. Before I give you my thoughts, here's a clip from one of the funny sketches. Our photographer, Rob King, says it's the funniest thing since the 70s. I don't know. Let's look at this.
Special guest tonight is the legendary actress, singer, writer, and comedian, Lily Tomlin.
Oh, jeez, come on. Why do I always say yes to stuff like this? I don't know.
Wow, I can't believe Lily Tomlin is here. Talk about a showstopper.
Sounds great. I'd do anything for this show to stop.
Friends, our show tonight is going to be a blast.
Yeah, because it's a bomb.
Hey, shut up.
Finally, something entertaining is happening.
Hey, shut up. Not gonna tell you again, fellas. Everybody here paid good money to hear this little dragon and his friends do their thing. So please let them do their thing without talking.
But the show is bad.
Okay.
You want more than what we need.
I think I'm alone. Because okay, Jeff too. I don't get it. Do you get it, Kendall? You're younger. Maybe your brain works differently.
Yes, it's funny. Okay, you're just taking, so I had the same exact conversation with executive producer Jeff. I think you're just thinking about it a little too far.
Literally?
The Lily Tomlin part, I actually don't really get. That kind of just mucked everything up, I think. But
Don't you dare take her name in vain, but go ahead.
It wasn't her, but you always have those two Muppets characters that are making fun of everyone,
Yeah.
and for once, these guys step in and tell them that they can't do that, and I thought the timing was funny. I thought both Keenan and Keegan were funny in their little characters. I cracked up the whole time. I did. No? Really? Still no?
That's a hard no.
I
hated this episode.
The whole thing?
Yeah. I love him. I actually find him funny. Not this. I think it's the writing. I really do.
This whole SNL episode you didn't like, or just this little piece?
Whole thing, the whole candy bar.
Wow.
Yeah, there wasn't one hunk of nougat I enjoyed.
That makes me really sad for you because I did enjoy it.
Well, that's good. I'm happy. I want you happy. And if that made you happy,
Thank you.
that's all that matters.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We're going to go get some Milky Way and some Snickers, and we'll be back right after this. More Hot Dish. One big, fabulous show is still ahead. You loved him the last time he stopped by. The Deal Guy, Matt Granite, returns with the ultimate list of do's and don'ts for dollar store shopping. How to get the most bang for your buck. Then, from Variety, Elizabeth Wagmeister returns to give us the scoop behind her revelatory interview with Colton Underwood. Is he taking ownership of his past mistakes? And I screamed out loud during this week's episode of Mayor of Easttown. I'll give you the scoop when we return.
There was so much left on the cutting room floor, so tonight I'd like to share an extended scene that I think really speaks to what made Michael Jordan such a great competitor. Enjoy.
Game 5, Bulls Suns. Tip-off is in 2 hours. I'm playing quarters on the wall with my head of security, John here. John, say hi. Don't get me. Say hi.
I'm ready for my close-up.
So whoever gets the quarter closest to the wall wins. I'm about to take $5 off of him. So watch
Okay,
this.
we'll see.
Watch
All right,
this.
we'll
Here we
see.
go.
Okay. Oh, how about I take that from you? Oh, I win.
Well, he won. You know, I was happy for him. But he did that little shrug, and I took that personally. Again.
Oh, okay. I think I got another 5 spot on me.
$1,000 this time. Here we go.
Oh, come on, man. I don't carry that kind of, what the kids call it, cheese.
I'll spot you. I'll spot you.
Oh, no.
Oh,
That is financially rough for me.
More from SNL, spoofing The Last Dance docuseries with Michael Jordan. I take it back. That was funny, but here's the deal. Why didn't they do it when it was running on ESPN?
Right, because the funniest thing about that was Heidi Gardner playing that guy.
I love that. That's a good documentary. I don't even like sports. That was great. You know, on Mondays, we get a special serving of Hot Dish all the way from Hollywood. Please give it up for our good friend Brad from TMZ. Good morning, Brad.
Good morning, Jason. How are you?
Good. Okay, it's like rinse and repeat. Hey, it's another Harry and Meghan story.
I know.
The palace is mad at them again. Why?
You know, when I saw that you and I were talking about this, that's exactly what I thought too, Jason. And the new issue is a recent interview that Prince Harry did on Dax Shepard's podcast, where he talked about kind of a history of attacks on the royal family by the public. And Harry says, look, I made the decision that I was going to end that chain with my family. And now there's reports coming out that the royal aides want Harry totally stripped of any and all titles because of this interview. And they're tired of him bashing tradition and bashing the royal family.
Okay. It's just, you know, and I'm on their side, But here, every time you get a story and it's like they're complaining, it starts to kind of nick at your sympathy for him, in my opinion.
I hear you there. It's like, look, you've moved on. Your family's now in Montecito. Enjoy that life. Stop revisiting this. You have a lot of projects. You're working with Oprah.
Yeah.
You know, like just work on that and work on your mental health documentary that you've talked about, and let's leave that drama behind. I'm with you there.
Next, let's visit some Rhythm Nation. Janet Jackson, some memorabilia went up for auction this weekend.
Really incredible auction that coincided with Janet's 55th birthday. Julian's Auction House had about 1,000 items that Janet has worn through the years, different memorabilia and everything. One of the top price getters was a $125,000 outfit that she wore in the Scream music video with Michael in '95. And the outfit that you're showing there is actually one that Kim Kardashian bid on and won for $25,000. She is a huge Janet fan and clearly had the cash to honor her, too.
We have a fan, Brad. He's like family, and he loves Janet. And I think he got a pair of shoes or something, I was told. Yeah, he won a pair of shoes, so yeah.
That's awesome. I wish I would have known about it because I'm sure there's some cool stuff there.
Absolutely. Okay, Ricky Schroder going viral for all the wrong reasons. Tell the folks what he did.
So before explaining this clip, I got to mention two things are true, Jason, as you know. You know that the CDC recommended that, hey, both in indoor and outdoor settings, people who've been fully vaccinated can ditch the masks. They've done enough studies that it's safe. Now, what's also true is there are local, there are state, there are business ordinances that are still in place that require customers to wear masks. And these are private businesses that are able to do so. Costco is one of those private businesses. And Ricky Schroder had an issue that his local Costco here in LA area was still requiring customers to wear masks. And you see him there, he's going off on Jason, the Costco employee, who stayed very calm and deserves a raise. But Jason's just explaining, look, right now this is still our rule. If you don't like it, you can't enter the store. Ricky, he continued on and on and on. Eventually they refunded him for his Costco membership, which he's probably going to regret in a couple months. But nonetheless, he wanted it heard that he thought he shouldn't have to wear a mask.
So much to say, so little time. Brad from TMZ, thank you, buddy.
Thanks, Jason.
We actually have enough time.
We got a lot of time.
This is what I want to say on this, is not even about mask, no mask. I don't get into that on the show. I'm here to make you happy. But here's what I will say. It's not a good look for a multimillionaire to get in the face of an hourly employee of Costco who's simply doing his job. You may not like it. You may not like the policies. I don't like everything that I have to do. I don't like all the policies here at the FOX or at Hubbard, but you do it. Jason is just doing his job. So it's just a nice reminder to all of us. This is going to be a weird, wacky, wild few months as state and as Brad said, state municipalities and city ordinances align with the guidance. It's going to be weird for a while. So can't we all just give each other a break? You know, just give it, because over the weekend, I saw it for myself. There was a restaurant, I'm not going to name any names, but also, you know, restaurants are still dealing with this. And what's happening is, especially in Minneapolis, where the mask mandate hasn't been lifted, I'm hearing from servers that drunk bucketheads are getting trashed and wasted on Saturday night and getting in the faces of servers, female servers, and being all drunk and bucketheadness and getting in their face like, well, give me a drink. And they're like, well, I can't give you a drink unless you're sitting down. Well, the other place over there isn't making me. Well, we are. We're following the rules. My point is, be good to each. I mean, just be nice. Just don't be a buckethead. Go out and enjoy yourself. I did as well. But don't get in the face of hourly employees who are just following their company's rules. It's not their fault. And chances are, there's a good chunk of those people that don't like the rules themselves. But they have to follow it. I have to do stuff here I don't want to do.
Right. Well,
there's a couple things. Anyway, it just makes me mad, especially when I hear from female servers when there's drunk guys getting in their face. Stop it. Stop it. That's ridiculous. There's nowhere on earth is that acceptable. Go have fun, but don't get drunk and get into a female server's face because she can't give you a drink because you aren't following the rules, you buckethead.
Buckethead. It is so true. Can we all just like take a deep breath? We're getting out of a pandemic. This is great news.
Yeah.
Like just
be nice. Just give each other a little grace for a while, you know?
Yeah.
Next in the dish, Martha Stewart has had it with the fake news media. Oh, I even hate saying that. You know how I feel about that term anyway. But Martha's had it, and she wants to set the record straight. That poor woman hates when I slam. I'm sorry. The New York Post reported that Martha owns 16 peacocks.
Yeah.
But that did not sit well with Martha. She tweeted that she actually has 21 glorious birds, and their house is impeccable. They do not smell, and they are clean, New York Post. Tell him, Martha. I just love that out of all the sticks, whatever mountain, out of all the mountains she could put a flag in, you are not gonna misnumber my peacocks. Mm-hmm. I have 22 peacocks. People.
21.
Well, I'm sorry.
21.
21 peacocks.
You don't want her mad at us, too.
I don't need Martha Stewart. Can you imagine?
Oh gosh.
I just saw this homosexual in Minneapolis talking about my peacocks.
I don't need that today.
I don't need it.
I'm in a great mood.
So by the way, that as they do and they should, the New York Post at the bottom, you know how sometimes you see the little thing in the italics, it's the editor's note about it, did write, Miss Stewart did tweet out that she in fact has 21 peacocks and they're glorious. Like,
they're glorious.
A little note like that at the bottom.
Best correction ever. Yeah.
This is awesome.
Next in the dish, I watched the latest episode of HBO's A Mayor of Easttown. Now, this is barely a story. This is what I'm going to tell you. All my friends out there watching Mayor of Easttown, if you have not seen last night's episode, avoid the internet at all costs. Because something happened at the end of the episode, and I hand to Oprah. I'm not being Jason, but I screamed out loud.
Out loud?
Are you mocking me?
Yes.
Yeah, I screamed. I went like this. Oh! Like that.
Well, that's more of like a yell, like a, oh!
Well, anyway, it was shocking. Something that I thought maybe would happen in the finale happened last night. And it's trippy because the first 20 minutes of this episode, you're like, this feels weird. Like this episode felt different for a little while. And then, holy shnikes. The last half, I was on the edge. I was grabbing like my nightstand. I was like, oh no, oh no, oh no. Yeah, it is intense. There's the word, it is intense. But do not let anybody spoil it for you. Don't, and especially Entertainment Weekly. Don't just avoid the internet. Don't talk to your family members that have watched it. Don't talk to your friends.
I hate when the internet ruins things. I just found out who the Miss New Universe is, and I've been waiting for YouTube to put it up. It's the same thing, right?
Who is it?
Miss Mexico.
We'll be right back. Back in a moment, everyone. The Deal Guide coming up in just a little bit, but first, more dish for you. Ewan McGregor was featured on CBS Sunday Morning. Oh, it was such a good episode. We had Ewan and UFOs. We'll talk about that in a second. He stars in a new Netflix series, Halston, about the famous fashion designer, Halston, and talked about how he feels in the weeks leading up to every new role. Look at this.
At the beginning of every project, you're very nervous, and you know, for the last 2 weeks before you start something, I am always a wreck, like just thinking, this is the one, I can't do this, I won't be able to do it. I always go through a period of great fear before something.
Seriously?
Seriously, yeah, every time. The fear is unbelievable. But the night before, I'm not at home going, practicing how am I going to do it. I don't do that. I want it to happen in front of the camera, because that's how I've always been, really. Just lazy.
It's not lazy.
Well, it might be. It's just laziness, and I've made it work.
And he has, ever since right there, Train Spotting. which then they did a sequel, I believe, in 2018 or 2019. That's Trainspotting in 96 is really when he exploded on the scene. And then 3 years later got the role that really kind of changed his life as Obi-Wan Kenobi in The Phantom Menace. And speaking of that, if Ewan looks a little bit like Obi-Wan Kenobi, it's because he's in the middle of filming the new series about Obi-Wan, which will be on Disney Plus next year. He's just one of my favorites because I think he is so versatile. And this, as far as an actor is concerned, and Halston, he is perfect for this. Now, it is a Ryan Murphy show, so I do have some reservations because, again, Ryan Murphy all of his shows start really well. Then about episode 4, it's like the car goes like this, and it takes a turn down Nutter Butter Street. And then the end is like nothing that you thought would ever happen. And you're like, why did I waste all of this time? Another story on CBS Sunday Morning, and later that night on 60 Minutes, it was basically Alien Day on the network because Sunday Morning and 60 Minutes both had stories about UFOs and the emergence of the kind of admitting that there have been sightings of UFOs, unidentified flying objects, so they call them something different. To me, this is personally terrifying because I'm telling you, out of all the things we need to worry about, UFOs, do we have to worry about that right now? Do we not have enough on our plate? Because I always say, if the aliens are coming, it's not going to be E.T. It is going to be Independence Day. Not to bring the party down, but they're not here to be going to Kroger with you. No. If the aliens are here, they are going to pillage and take all of our natural resources. I'm just saying. That's what they're going to do. Sorry to bring the party down.
Do that.
Because it's frightening. That's why I'm a little worried about it.
But it's a Monday.
It is a Monday. But I'm saying, it's CBS's fault. They had back-to-back episodes all about UFOs, scaring the crap out of people. I don't need... Jay and Pauly, I want to watch birds when I watch Sunday Morning. Mm-hmm. I want peaceful. I want Steve Hartman to tell me about like an old man in Tennessee. Yesterday it was all about UFOs and how they're coming for us. I don't need that. Nobody. I don't have time for bronchitis, and I don't have time for that. I went down to get a cold pop. I love that commercial so much. The Deal Guy, the best way to do the best, shop the best, and get the best deals at the dollar store. My mom's going to love this when we come back. Back in a moment, everyone. Welcome back. We all like deals, but no one likes them more than our next guest. With more than 1 million subscribers on YouTube, he's become the go-to source for all things deals. Please welcome back to the show the Deal Guy, Matt Granite. Hi, buddy.
There we go. You've already improved my week, my month, my cheap life. Thank you for having me back.
Hey, no, we wanted to have you back the day after you were here last time. People loved you. Most importantly, my mother, the Dar, loved you. So, yes. Hey, before we go any farther, did you hear my UFO story? Do you believe in? I did. Do you believe in UFOs? And don't you think if they're here, they ain't here to go to Perkins with us?
No, your Independence Day analogy I thought was spot on. I've already started putting some more stuff into the bunker, so thank you for that.
Perfect. If I may come, I do not have a bunker. I just have a condo. So if I may come in your bunker, if I may come over in your bunker, I would really appreciate that. And that sounded
Anytime,
weird.
Open invite.
It sounded weird as it came out of my mouth. Yeah. Okay.
Perfect.
Today's topic is dollar stores, right, Matt? And yes. we're going to give the best suggestions for the dollar stores.
Absolutely. And today I'm going to focus on the Dollar Tree. I don't have any relationship or sponsorship with them. It's just readily available at $1. When you go into other stores like Dollar General or some other stores called Five Below, where you're more within a price parameter, I can't say everything is $1. So we're focusing on Dollar Tree, but a lot of the advice I'm going to dispense today applies to any dollar store of your choice.
Got it. So the first one, storage bins and baskets.
Yes. This is a very popular topic because there are stores that specialize in containers and storage. And I'm going to share my screen with you right now just so you can see, and then I'll actually show you what I have purchased. So this is your typical, here, let me get a little picture window. This is your typical Dollar Tree storage bin offering. It's pretty much anything. We're talking Rubbermaid. There's Betty Crocker storage bins for the kitchen, but these are bins that retail for $1, where if you were to go to some other retailer, you'd be spending 30 or 40% more. Like this bin right here, things that I constantly misplace that I want to organize better. Packing supplies. There's these small bins for other items that I lose from time to time, like my dignity and microphone wires and things for the studio. So it's a pretty good setup where you can store and actually take advantage of this DIY momentum this season for $1 per bin. Sometimes you'll see 3 bins at $1, which is a really nice thing.
Again, if you just came into the TV, if you just came into the living room, these are products you should absolutely buy at the dollar store. Some of them, some items you shouldn't, but these, Matt, what Matt's doing, these are the ones you should get. Okay, so storage bins and baskets. Next, cleaning products.
Absolutely. Do you have any associations with cleaning products at a dollar store, Jason? Any things that you have in your head, preconceived notions on this?
I don't. I just want lemon flavored. I prefer lemon flavored items, but I don't, or lemon scented, not flavored. I'm not drinking this crap. But anyway, but no, I really don't. I don't have any preconceived notions.
Okay, a lot of people associate Dollar Tree and other dollar stores with smaller products, and that's not always the case. Sometimes they're nearing an expiration date a little bit more soon than a traditional retailer, but anything that you stock, even some of those beautiful verbena products for you, orange flavored. I don't know if you'd consider orange, but there's a way to do that. All of the major brands are there, and there's one Dollar Tree specialty called LA's Totally Awesome All-Purpose Cleaner. And if you guys have not heard of this, I kid you not, this is probably the best cleaner I have ever used in my life. I did not realize it was an as seen on TV product, but it's an all-purpose, life-changing cleaning solution, and you're looking at $1 per product for all of those offerings. I'm just gonna put my storage bin back there. This is definitely a category you should explore at the Dollar Tree.
May I ask you, because again, my mother is already ordering. She loves cleaners. What's so special about that LA cleaning thing?
It's streak-free. It seems to handle everything from glass to countertops to granite to soap scum. Granite, we'll see what I did there. It handles absolutely anything. And it's not one of those cleaners where you need to be concerned with the surface upon which it's going to leave some type of residue behind or ruin something. So it really is all purpose in every sense of the word. And just to show you the screen right here, the reviews on this thing, it's unbelievable. And I've tested and used a lot of other cleaning products from Dollar Tree, some things that I've only seen there. LA's Totally Awesome Cleaner is living up to its name in every sense of the word.
Before we take a break, we're going to come back to you, but we have about a minute. Pregnancy tests. This shocks me, Matt. This shocks me.
The same pregnancy tests that you will buy anywhere else, Target, Walmart, Amazon, CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid. Guys, you're paying $15 to $20 everywhere else. These are the exact same pregnancy tests. Check the brands. It's the same brand, but it is $1 at Dollar Tree versus $15, $18, $20, or $30 elsewhere.
And they're not from like 2012 or anything? They're new?
They're not used. No, they are brand new, unopened pregnancy tests, which is a beautiful thing, I think.
Yes, for many reasons. Okay, Matt is staying right there. More deals when we come back. Back in a moment. Kind of what you want, right? Yeah. More with our buddy, the deal guy, Matt Granite. We're talking about top things that you want to buy at Dollar Tree. Okay, I want to get to as many as we can, so I'm going to shut my mouth. Hallmark cards, talk to me.
All right, so I'm not sure why we've reached a point in our society where Hallmark cards range somewhere between $8 to $15 to express your sentiment. And I don't even like the people I'm giving most of these cards to well enough to spend $15 and get a gift. So I think we need to take a stand. And if you guys are not aware, Dollar Tree has Hallmark, actual Hallmark gift cards and wrapping paper. And the same gift cards that you could find again at CVS, Rite Aid, Walmart, Target, anywhere else. These are actual gift cards that have been purchased at my local Dollar Tree. I mean, this one is hideous. I don't know why I used this as an example. What were they thinking? But there are good ones.
Okay.
And the same Hallmark cards that you would find elsewhere are available $1. There's no hidden fees. Sometimes they'll actually have 2 cards for $1, which is something we frequently see around Mother's Day. We got Father's Day around the corner, guys. Now, this would be a good purchase.
Dish and hand towels.
Yeah. I don't understand why dish towels have also become a bit of an industry on their own. They actually have a whole blog on Dollar Tree about how to take your towels and transform them like these guest towel cupcakes. Whoever thought such a thing existed, this is,
wow.
let me move my oversized head for a second. This is just a delight.
That's effort right there, Matt. That's effort.
Yeah, it is. And here's the thing, you don't want your guests to overstay their welcome, so I wouldn't take it that far by turning everything into little cupcakes. But towels, good quality, they launder well. Absolutely no issues in any of my tests with the dish towels time and time again that I've used. Yard ornaments, perfect time of year for that. This is one of those things where if I told you that I decorated part of our lockdown wedding with yard ornaments, no one would believe me. So I'm actually going to share a video right now just to show you. So we were at the height of lockdown last year when we got married, and that's my wife, the one in the middle, not on the left, that's her mom. And everything you see behind us, from those flower arrangements, everything you see here was placed specifically from a Dollar Tree store for our wedding. And when people found out that I was decorating from the Dollar Tree, that there was like a divorce pool going on at my office, and I assured them, no, it actually looked good. And for anyone watching right now, your most astounding fact probably is a woman like that somehow wanted to marry me. I'm still trying to process.
No,
but
I'm wondering if you got the squirrel. There was a squirrel too. Did you get the squirrel from the Dollar Tree?
No, he just showed up because he liked the decor. So that was a beautiful thing.
Exactly. I love this, Matt. Dishes. And not like your fancy... No, like you have a good idea for this.
Yeah, the big thing, when you go to someone else's houses, you generally will want to bring something in a container. The reusable things aren't fantastic. And then you have that awkward conversation at the end with, when do you get the plate back? Are they done? Who gets the leftovers? So for $1, there's every possible type of charger plate, travel and takeout containers. They even have catering trays and platters. You can find this all readily available at Dollar Tree. So I'm going to remind anyone right now, while they do need to work on their website's server, which is clearly from 1990 with the speeds that we're getting here, you've got everything to make a nice impression, but then also you don't feel badly or financially badly by leaving a container behind. It costs you a whopping $1.
One more thing, we have 30 seconds, soup.
Yes. A lot of people are not aware that Dollar Tree and other dollar stores actually have partnerships with all of the major soup brands. So Campbell's, Progresso's, Stew, Chili, whatever it is that you're looking for, it's often the same size and half price at a dollar store versus what you would be getting from a traditional retailer. A lot of people say, well, you know what, they're going to expire 2 weeks after I purchase. Almost everything I've seen has a 1 to 3 year expiration from date of purchase. So as long as you eat your soup within 3 years, when you and I are in our bunker preparing for UFOs,
that's right,
we'll be fine.
Yeah, get that soup, Matt. I'll bring other stuff if you can handle the soup. I'll bring the greeting cards. I'll bring the greeting cards and towels and that squirrel.
That's going to be a fun little party. I hope we're there for a while. Jason.
I do too. Thanks, buddy. We'll see you soon. Subscribe to Matt's YouTube channel. Search for The Deal Guy. And also support him. Go to his website, thedealguy.com. Last month, Bachelor Nation was rocked when Colton went on GMA and revealed he was gay. Now we're learning new details about his life thanks to a new article in Variety by our good friend Ace reporter Elizabeth Wagmeister. Now, Elizabeth's reporting has made headlines not just here in America, but around the world. Please welcome back to the show Ace reporter and our good friend, Variety's own Elizabeth Wagmeister. Hi, sweetheart. Can you hear me? Oh, we can't hear you for whatever reason. Are you muted? No? No? Oh, there we go. Let's try this. Let's try this. Okay. Maybe not. It's live television. Let me tell you, we tried to get Elizabeth on Friday, and we had technical issues here at the FOX. And today we tried to get her earlier, and we had technical issues. There is a gremlin in the system. I think that squirrel from Matt's story is infecting our ability to do good Zoom interviews, because this is now the second time we've tried to do this, and it hasn't worked. If you've wondered why I've been sharing so many personal stories lately, that's why. That's the magic of live television. Well, we're going to try to get Elizabeth when we come back. Back in a moment, everyone. If it doesn't work this time, I'm quitting, and we're going to put on Popeye reruns. Please welcome back to the show our good friend Elizabeth from Variety. Hi, Elizabeth.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Oh, yes. Okay.
You are right, Jason. There was a gremlin or something trying to stop this from happening, but nothing can stop us. Nothing can stop us.
Nothing can stop our friendship. Okay, I want to get as much out of this as I can. Let me start by asking this, because a lot of people have already read the article. What surprised you the most as you're sitting down and you got done with the interview and you're driving back to work? What was on your mind? What stuck with you about him?
You know, this isn't necessarily something that surprised me, but what really stuck with me is that Colton really was so genuine and so vulnerable throughout this entire interview. And you can imagine, for a cover story, you spend a long time with the cover subject. So I was with him for hours, and I walked away from that really feeling like I knew him. And obviously there is a lot that has been said, both good and bad, as there always is when there's high profile controversial stories. But I really walked away from this saying that Colton came out publicly for the right reasons. He really wants to help people. And I was just really kind of amazed at how vulnerable and open he was throughout the entire interview.
When you brought up, and you know, when he came out, I got a lot of flack for not covering the past allegations against him. And I said, I will cover that another day. I was just celebrating his being able to live his truth. When you brought it up, do you think, Elizabeth, because you were sitting there looking at him in his eyes, do you think he gets it? Do you think he is owning his stuff?
Absolutely. And that's what he said. You know, he said, I really want to take ownership and accountability. I made mistakes. I'm not proud for how I acted. He also revealed to me, which is in the story, that him and his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Randolph, they do have a joint agreement. So it appears that there is more to this story, but neither of them can speak about it because out of respect for each other, they've chosen not to do that. But as you saw in the piece, he said as much as he could, which he really wanted to rest on the fact that he apologizes to her and to her family, that he just wants to move forward. He is not proud of who he was. And he also said that he wants to make sure that those allegations are not negated by the fact that he's coming out. He said, if that came off that way, that is wrong. And I never want to say that because I'm now living my life as a gay man, that what I did as a straight man doesn't matter.
We have about 30 seconds. One of the big bombshells that came out of your reporting was the fact that he was being blackmailed. How did you feel when he said that?
You know, it was so interesting because as a journalist who sat across from a lot of people, you can tell when something's premeditated, you know, when something comes into the interview wanting to say it. This was not. He kind of paused and he looked around and he said, I'm just going to say it. And he came forward with this story almost with tears in his eyes. So I could tell this was something, a secret that he had been harboring that he probably never thought would have come out. So that was something that surprised me, to wrap it all up, Jason.
Well, I will tell you, I'll end with a compliment to you. You are just, I wish I could cuss, but you're kicking blank. You got the cover. You deserve the cover. And I read you, and I'm like so proud from afar. So thank you for sharing a little bit of time, and continued success, my friend.
Jason, no one's better than you. So right back at you. I know we're almost out of time, but if we weren't, I would have compliments for hours for you. So thank you so much for having me. I always love joining your show.
We love you. Thank you, Elizabeth. Go read it right now, everybody. It's fascinating. The article, Variety.com. We'll be back right after this.
We did it finally!
There's one thing I didn't get to ask Elizabeth. We didn't have time. The only thing that I really was, I wanted to call or question Colton about is the fact that he's blackmailed because someone allegedly got naked photos of him when he was in a club, like a bathhouse. And then when he said I was in a bathhouse, I was just looking around. My thing is, I don't look around naked in stores. You know what I mean?
Target,
I'm not
aisle
at
6.
Target walking around going, where's your housewares? You know? That's the only part of a story that I wanted Elizabeth to kind of figure out for me. Because the blackmailer allegedly had naked photos of him. And Colton's like, I was just there looking around.
You're like, naked?
Girl, I don't go to the saloon to look around, you know? And you were naked. Again, I'm not at Aldi getting a little quarter in my cart naked.
You'd be arrested.
I'm just looking around. Buck naked. Anyway, here's my stuff. I'm just looking around. Oh, gayness. I think I'll take a pack of that.
Can you pass me that Dorito bag?
I got to get an answer to that. Tomorrow on the show, I've got another best thing ever, plus Kendall goes to a new distillery in Minneapolis. That's going to do it for us. Right now, though, if you're a kid watching that's being bullied, you go out there and be yourself, because nobody can tell you you're doing it wrong. Thanks so much for watching every day. Have a great day.